Okay, hi everyone. I am here with your 614 lesson, How Does It Make Sense? Solving problems involving fraction division. In lesson 613, you made sense of answers to division problems. You paid particular attention to the meaning of each part of the division sentence. In this lesson, you will extend your understanding about dividing to include division of fractions by other fractions. As you work with your team, recall what you know about the relationship between multiplication and division and keep the following questions in mind. How can we represent this problem with a diagram? Can we represent it in more than one way? So we're going to flip over to question 645. Dora's Dollhouse Part 1. Dora is building a dollhouse for her cousin. She needs several boards that are each 3/4 of a foot long. She went to the store and found that the lumber she needs is only sold in lengths of 8 feet. She laid a tape measure next to the board and drew the diagram below. The diagram is also available on Lesson 614 resource page, Dora's Dollhouse. A. Work with your team to figure out how many of her 3/4 foot boards can she cut from the 8-foot piece of wood. Be prepared to explain how you got your answer and to show why it makes sense using the diagram. So go ahead and pause the video and answer part A. So if you're back with me, you've answered part A. She will be able to cut 10 boards there will be some lumber left over. So you could have done the diagram your own way. Everyone might have not have done it the same way, so we are going to save and talk about the diagram in class. B says, after she cuts her boards, how much lumber will be left over from the 8-foot piece? So go ahead and pause the video and try to answer B. So you answer this question first, and then what part of a 3/4 board is this? Show how you know. So go ahead and pause the video and answer this. If you're back with me, you've answered B. We're going to save B for class. C just wants you to represent that situation with a division sentence. So go ahead and pause the video and answer part C. Okay, again, we are going to save C and talk about it in class. Moving on. Let's take a look at 647, division in area. The Ferndale High School Golden Eagles have a large play field at their school that covers 2/3 of a square mile. One side of the play field is half mile in width. Draw a diagram that shows this situation. Be sure to include labels. So we know, let me turn my page, and I'm going to kind of help us through this. So we know here's the play field. We know that the whole play field is 2/3 of a mile. That's the area. We know the width of this field is 1/2 mile. So to figure out the area, we want to do 1/2 times what is going to give us 2/3 miles squared. So B says, what operation can you do to find the length of the field? Write a number sentence for this operation. So normally we know that when we're finding area, we would do multiplication, 1/2 times this value down here. But we don't have that value, it's an unknown. We do, however, know the area. So the inverse of multiplication, or the opposite of multiplication, is division. So we can use division here by doing 2/3 divided by 1/2. Okay? So now we want to find the length of the playing field. What strategy did you use? So your strategy could vary, but I'm going to introduce you to something called the supergiant one. So the supergiant one is to help you when we are dividing fractions. So we have 2/3 divided by 1/2. For the supergiant one, it's kind of just like the giant one, but what we are going to do is we are going to take the reciprocal of 1/2, and that is going to be our giant, the number that's going in our giant one. So here we need to multiply by 2/1, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make our numerator or our denominator 1. 2/1, and whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do to the top. So this is my supergiant one. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So now we can simplify. We know that 2 divided by 2 is just 1, which is what we want. We wanted that to happen because of our supergiant one. So we have 4/3 over 1, which in other words is just 4/3. This is an improper fraction, so we can now change this into a mixed number. How many times does 3 go into 4? 1 whole time. How many are left over? 1, and our denominator is 3. So your answer for the length is 1 1/3 miles. Okay, we're going to continue practicing with fraction division, but try this problem again on your own. You know what the answer should be, so now try to solve this problem without me. That's the last problem that you have to do. I will tell you that for 648, A and B are great practice problems, so I actually do want you to try those, okay? And if you get them right, I might throw some extra credit your way. So I would like you to try 648, A and B. You only have to solve them doing division. You don't have to do the question or the diagram. You just need to find the answer, okay? So 648, A and B, that is your final problem for today. If you have any questions, please email me.